The north of England is an ancient landscape, shaped and defined by the last ice age.
8,000 years ago, the glaciers were retreating northwards, illuminating a landscape which people could begin to move into, farm, inhabit, and some of the earliest people have left behind signs of who they were and what they believed and what they did. The cup and ring markings in Northumberland National Park, these are more than 6,000 years old. We don't know why they're here, we don't know what they are really. Some people imagine that this is a kind of map marking the landscape of possibly different settlements, but these were the very first people into northern England, northern Britain. These were the people who would brave the cold and the ice, the first people pre-farming, the first people to settle here and create the landscape, terraform the landscape as it is today. Did these people mark their territory with concentric circles, cup and ring marks in the stone? They also built stone circles. Ancient astronomers recognised the connection between the heaven and the earth, and they marked the places where the sun would rise, the sun would set. Changes in the lunar calendar were all marked by stone circles, and this was a common cultural feature of all of Northern Europe up to and beyond 6,000 years ago. So even here today, we've got this mark, a legacy of an ancient church, an ancient religion which people no longer follow. The mark is here. Fast forward 3,000 years and humans have established themselves here, and population centres have started to coalesce and come together, and here the Iron Age Hillfort, 2,000 or 3,000 years old, would have been full of people. It was like a castle before there were castles. Before the Romans came to northern Britain, the people here built terraced landscapes on top of this huge, great big glacial hill, glacial drumlin, and from which they can see all the way to the river. They've got cover over the valley on either side of here, and it's protective, it gives them access. It's like the centre of power for this entire area. And so human development, which began with rock carvings and small groups of people first moving into this forested area, has gradually grown and developed until people have established settlements 3,000 years later, still 1,000 years before the Romans arrived. And this is where people would have lived. This is the house. You can see the remains of these walls. People built sunken into the ground. It would have kept them warm. It would have kept them a little bit shielded from the elements because we're on this great protruding landscape. And then you've got your neighbours here. And this was it. This was for a family. This was a small group of people. You would come in, you would sleep, you would maybe light your fire in the centre. But then you've also got neighbours all around you. You've got a town built on top of a hill in which you're secure, you're all connected as family, and you are under the protection of whoever it is that controls this establishment. You can see how established this settlement would have been, because there's not only one or two houses, they're everywhere, they're all around us. These are the streets basically connecting different families who would have lived here. You can get a feel of what this place would have been like to live in. Not dissimilar from the terraced hills of Vietnam growing rice. You can see very clearly the way that the people built up the wall here. Then there would have been a flat area. Down the hill there would have been another wall. This was a terraced feature protecting people. They didn't build their walls up. They used the natural landscape to protect themselves, and they used the walls to stop erosion, to make sure that this place would protect them for a long time. There's nothing clearer than that wall, which is not only perfectly straight but still surviving maybe 4,000 years later. That's almost as old as the pyramids at Giza. Okay, and this is the end of the wall. This is the first encounter that people who wanted to attack this place would have got to, and now it's our final way out. And so, just having returned to Lordenshaws, the thing that I most think of is live fast, die young. So as we're leaving Lordenshaws, you know, this is the second time return to what was one of the first things that made me understand the natural world and the ancient world a little bit better. And as we leave, it's kind of like walking back through time, walking away through time. And it just, you've got to recognise that these ancient sites are all around us. Understanding the rocks and the landscapes can tell us a lot about our own history, where we've came from, what the future might hold. And so no matter where you are in the world, you should be looking for this stuff. Thank you.
Kurt, what do you think about this defensive ditch?
What a struggle.
Impenetrable. 6,000 years ago.
Waste of time. Waste of my time.